that we're going to do today. I'd like I'm going to call the meeting to order and invite everyone to join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's nice to see all this interest in county government. I told my colleagues a couple weeks ago, I should start charging people. Are there any unfinished business or correspondence? Nothing yet. All right, our first item will be to consider a motion to approve the minutes for the meeting dated April 8th, 2025 as presented.
Make that motion.
I'll second that. Properly moved in second. Is there any discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll consider a motion to approve the invoices in the amount of $1,145,701.36 for the period April 4th through April 17th, 2020.
Second.
Second. Are there any comments, questions, comments? All right, hearing none, could we have a roll call?
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Hume?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Our next motion will be consideration to approve the actual payroll in the amount of $326,460.61 for the period March 23rd through April 5th, 2025.
Make that motion.
I'll second that motion. Properly moved in second. Any comments? Any comments or questions from the press? Hearing none, we'll roll call.
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Hume?
Yes.
Mr. Bittler?
Yes.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, we'll consider a motion to adopt resolution number 2025-04, authorizing the submission of application, project management proposal, cooperation agreement, and amendments for ME 4169, item number 9458, or Act number 2017-052, with an authorization date of October 30th, 2017 to the Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program for a total of $1 million. This fund will be used for the purpose of the Punxsutawney County Area Hospital Parking Project.
Second.
Properly moved in second. Any discussion? Any comments or questions from the public or staff?
Sure. This is part of a larger project. The Punxsutawney Area Hospital is going through this, specifically the RACP funding for $1 million will cover some paving within the parking lot and the installation of a generator. So we are getting moving on that project. Excited to be a part of it.
So if you've been following along in last several months, there have been some actions on the part of the commissioners in their role in this project. The grant and also the county hospital authority. So this is the county having a role in government money that's coming to help the hospital in broad terms. So, any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, could we have the roll call, please?
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Hume?
Yes.
Yes.
Next, we will consider a motion to proclaim April 2025 as Living Donor Month in Jefferson County.
Make that motion?
I'll second that motion. Properly moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Do we have anyone who'd like to speak on this?
I guess I.
Yes, Ben. Well, if you care to, come
I
on.
will.
It's an important topic, and I think you have a good perspective.
So I wear two hats. My name is Ben Hughes. The two hats today are I'm on the executive team at Pohnstown Area Hospital, and I am also a recent kidney donor. And so if I could just take 2 seconds to tell my story. It's something I never thought I would do. It's something I never thought would impact me. And so I think I'm a good person to talk because one, I had the world's best experience, and two, to let you know that you may not be impacted directly, like I have a loved one, a spouse, a child that needs this, but there are other people that need it. The program that I was in was called the Exchange Program, which was new to me, and that is this gentleman needs a kidney. We're not really a match, but I can give a kidney to someone else. That gets him to the top of the list so that he can receive a kidney. So if someone is getting his kidney, I'm giving mine to someone else. So there's a farmer right now in Lake Joe's who's going to get a kidney because of me. And my kidney in October of last year went to a woman who's in San Jose, California. So my message is, it's a wonderful thing. It's so much easier than I thought. When people say, oh, what a great thing, I'm like, I gave my kidney on a Tuesday, and on Wednesday I walked 8 blocks to a restaurant and had dinner with friends. So it was much, 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 much easier than I thought it would be. And so I never thought I'd be standing here talking about kidney donation, but here we are. And it's a great thing. And I would just encourage anyone, if you've thought about it, to be encouraging to other people to do it. Make sure that your licenses are sent to that kidney for people that need it. And there are many people not outside of this area, but right here in this region who need kidneys. A lot of people on that list, and it is very easy to do that. And one of the biggest barriers I always like to tell people too is that it costs nothing. In the world of healthcare and the cost of healthcare, one of the things that was surprising for me is that I managed to literally donate a kidney I never registered for under my own name for anything, not a blood test, not anything. It is all taken care of. It is seamless. It works really, really well. So I just want to be encouraging, very easy to do, and appreciate everyone's time today. It's an important thing. Never thought it would impact me, and here we are. So everyone, appreciate you, the proclamation, having this be pointed out to the public. So consider it, and at a minimum, get it on those licenses.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ben. Would anyone, oh, go ahead, yes. Would anyone from Penn Highlands?
I think Selena's gonna say.
Good morning, afternoon, morning still. My name is Selena Strinati. I'm the advisory council representative for CORE at Penn Highlands Brookville. Thank you for inviting us, and thank you to the commissioners for identifying National Donate Life Month. Last Friday at the hospital, 2 Fridays ago at the hospital, we had CORE come in and we were recognized for our continuous involvement in bringing awareness to donation, living and those who have passed. So just some statistics for you guys, specifically to Penn Highlands Brookville. Last year, we were able to donate 6 eye donations and 5 tissue donations. And already in 2025, we have had 1 donor who was able to donate both eye and tissue. So again, thank you for recognizing us, and thank you for those that may or may not be pushed to become donors. It does save lives, and thank you again for recognizing us.
What, can I address real quick?
Oh,
Just have a question. Sorry. So everyone, feel free to look at the proclamation on the back of the agenda because it identifies some statistical information about living donors. So most of you are familiar with me in my official capacity as the parliamentarian clerk of courts. However, today I wish to address you as a sister on behalf of my brother, who is a native living donor liver. As the Pohnstown and Brookville hospitals mentioned on the proclamation, more than 100,000 people are waiting for life-saving organ transplants. 2024 statistics show that approximately 9,383 people in the U.S. were waiting for a liver transplant. Over 600 of those transplants were made possible by living donors. Sadly, 1,400 people who were on the liver transplant list died in 2024 due to the organ shortage. I applaud the efforts of the Punxsutawney and Brookville hospitals today to bring awareness to our county in their effort to present the Jefferson County Commissioners with a proclamation proclaiming April Living Donor Month in an effort to promote the life-saving measures living donors can bring to those in need. Sorry, this is very personal to me. So please put this information of living donor on your heart and lips today to talk about the need brought before you here today. So that if someone is so compelled to inquire about donating a liver as a living donor, please feel free to contact me directly. Thank you again, Jefferson County Commissioners from the Punxsutawney and Brookville Hospitals for your efforts here today.
Thank you. I would like to take a moment and read the proclamation. This will just take a moment. Jefferson County Commissioners Proclamation, Penn Highlands, Brookville, Punxsutawney Area Hospital. Whereas for more than a century, Penn Highlands, Brookville, and Punxsutawney Area Hospital have been valuable community assets to provide high-quality health care and compassionate hometown service. Whereas these hospitals are committed to providing excellent inpatient and outpatient care for the residents of Jefferson County and surrounding regions. Whereas each April, Penn Highlands, Brookville, and Punxsutawney Area Hospital participate in National Donate Life Month, an annual observance established by Donate Life America, focusing on the need for and importance of tissue and cornea donation. Whereas more than 100,000 people are waiting for life-saving organ transplants, and every 8 minutes, another person is added to that list. Whereas one organ donor can save up to 8 lives, cornea could restore sight to 2 people, and tissue donations could heal 75 people. Whereas Penn Highlands Brookville joins the other 8 Penn Highlands healthcare hospitals, Punxsutawney Area Hospital, and countless hospitals across the state in month-long activities encouraging people to become a donor, register their decision to become a donor, honor living or deceased donors, and celebrate the lives that have been saved. Now, therefore, we, the Commissioners of Jefferson County, enthusiastically congratulate Penn Highlands Brookville and Punxsutawney Area Hospital for their commitment to educate the people of Jefferson County and surrounding regions for the critical need and more organ, tissue, and cornea donors, and its effort to encourage individuals to register as donors. I'd also like to add our appreciation to both hospitals. You are a staple of the county. You are critical to the quality of life. You are part of the culture of our county. So thank you, Punxsutawney Area Hospital. Thank you, Penn Highlands Brookville, for what you do, how you impact us in a positive way. You're significant employers, so you're providing people means to meet their obligations. In every way, this county is very fortunate to have both institutions serving our people. Anything to add?
No, sir.
Would anyone else like to offer any thoughts or comments? Okay, with that, let's come to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we'll consider a motion to proclaim May 2025 as Mental Health and Stigma Awareness Month in Jefferson County.
Make that motion.
I'll second it. Properly moved in second. Great discussion. Any comments or questions from the public? Does anyone like to speak to this?
I'll step on and speak for a second.
Wait.
Thank you, Commissioners, for having us today, and thanks for considering the proclamation. My name's Aaron Beatty. I wear a couple of hats. Some of the folks here may know me. I'm the Executive Director of the Western Pennsylvania Police Athletic League's facility in DuBois, Pennsylvania. We have a 7,000 square foot facility that's free for kids and all first responders. Troy in the back is one of our members back there. We're really proud to see him today. But what we're here to talk about is mental health. And what we're trying to do is try to break the silence around mental health. We aim to create safe spaces, offer wellness resources, and connect people to the support they need. And what we're trying to do is hold an event on May 17th at the DuBois City Park, where we're going to try to break through to do that. We're going to have speakers on stage telling their inspirational stories. We'll have live music. We have a kickball tournament, a pickleball tournament, a lot of other things to really bring people in a positive light and then offer the providers and resources from the area where they can be in the same place at the same time. So together we can try to break through and kick the stigma around mental health and other things that have been stigmatized in our area. So I hope that you will join us, help us to share in those resources and in that day. But again, that's what we're here to do. So I thank the commissioners for allowing us to be here and everyone that's here today to help us in the day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill, the expert. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? I would like to take a moment and share this proclamation as well. Mental Health and Stigma Awareness Month in Jefferson County, Pennsylvania. Whereas mental health is an essential part of overall well-being, impacting individuals, families, and communities across Jefferson County, Pennsylvania. Whereas 1 in 5 American adults experience a mental health condition each year. 1 in 6 youth aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder each year, and everyone faces challenges in life that can impact their mental health. Whereas despite its prevalence, mental health remains shrouded in stigma, preventing many from seeking help. Whereas early intervention and access to quality health care are crucial for managing mental health conditions and improving quality of life. Whereas May is recognized nationally as Mental Health Awareness Month, providing an opportunity to raise awareness, combat stigma, and promote mental health resources. Now, therefore, we, the Jefferson County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as Mental Health and Stigma Awareness Month in Jefferson County, Pennsylvania. We encourage all residents of Jefferson County to educate themselves and others about mental health conditions, treatment options, and available resources, challenge stigma by speaking respectfully and inclusively about mental health, seek help if they are struggling with their mental health, and encourage others to do the same, support organizations that provide mental health services and advocacy, create safe and supportive environments for open conversations about mental health. Together we can create a community where everyone feels empowered to prioritize their mental well-being and seek help when needed. In witness thereof, we have unto set our hand and caused the seal of Jefferson County, Pennsylvania to be affixed this 22nd day of April 2025. I'll offer one comment from a personal experience. And it has a military flavor to it, so bear with me, everyone. In my former life, when I was in the military post-deployment, I was approached by the parents of a soldier who had come back from Iraq with us, and the parents approached me from the standpoint on their son's behalf, that their son was experiencing some post-deployment issues, some COVID matters. And the parents said to me that their son is having some difficulties, but their son doesn't want to come forward because their son is afraid that they would be looked upon as weak or inadequate or somehow not up to where he perceived his peers to be. In short, he wanted to keep it to himself, but he was struggling with some post-deployment issues. And so the parents approached me and said, our son's experiencing this. What do we do with him? And what I shared with the parents, I said, if you will open me to the conversation, I don't want to violate your trust with your son. I would be happy to talk to him, but tell him this, that asking for help when you need it is a sign of strength. It's not weakness. And every one of us needs help. And that I would look more favorably on a soldier who says, I need help, asks for it, and gets it, as opposed to someone who doesn't when they need and then suffers for it. So the point was that stigma needed to be dealt with. The young man had that perception that he'd be looked down upon if he asked for help. The point I tried to convey to the parents was convey to him, or let me convey to him, that I would see him in the opposite light. Asking for help is strength, because it's hard to ask for help, especially in those circumstances when you are in a heavily influenced peer group, like a military unit. And that would turn into a good news story. The gentleman in question did reach out. The professionals were able to bring their skills to bear, and I think there were good results from it. So it was one encapsulated example where I had that stigma confront me, and I needed to deal with it in a way that was embracing, that was accepting, that thought the young man in question the help he needed, because the proclamation lays it out quite well. Everyone needs help at some point, every single one of us. So I share that to give kind of a personal flavor on it. Appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, let's have a vote. All in favor? Opposed? And the motion carries. Next, we'll consider a motion to award the county's general grass mowing and trimming services to BWB Landscaping of Knoxville in the amount of $720 per month.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
I'll just say that that's for the jail and 911. That's our lowest successful bidder.
Thanks for putting that together. Anything else? Anything else from the public? All right, could we have a roll call?
Mr. North?
Yes.
Mr. Hume?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Thank you. The next item is public information from our illustrious Director of Emergency Services, Tracy Zentz. Presentations and communications interface and interplay with Pennsylvania State Police in Jefferson County.
Thank you.
Are you well enough?
I'm glad to be able to stand on my own 2 feet today. Thank you very much. And I want to thank our law enforcement partners for coming in today too. So I just want to briefly touch on a little bit of history about how we came to this day here. So for many years, the 911 Center, we have worked on building interoperable communications with our partners at all levels to include municipal, county, state, and federal. We built a radio system for our interstate responders to have communications for large-scale incidents with the state police, PennDOT, DEP, and other state agency on the state radio system. We also built a radio system that allows our municipal works to communicate directly with the 911 Center and first responders as needed. We also built a system that allows our school districts to communicate with the 911 Center directly, and also their school resource officers and the buses. Recently, we built infrastructure to have a secure channel with all of our counties in the Northwest Central region so that our dispatchers can request mutual aid from our neighboring counties and provide updates when the incidents cross county lines without having to pick up a phone, remember the phone number calling. They can just pick up the radio headset and call directly for them. And we've provided over the years the state police and the U.S. federal marshals with our law enforcement radio channels. But we also found with them having the channels on critical incidents that this can be very cumbersome to a police officer to try to switch radio channels and zones in a hurry when lives are at stake. This problem had existed for many years, and we tried to correct it, but was unsuccessful for a lot of different reasons. But the ability to provide interoperable communications on emergency situation with our local law enforcement partners in the state police was still on our mind. Back in 2013, when Trooper Brad Wilson from the Du Bois Barracks was injured in an incident in the Brockway area, 911 dispatchers, along with the state police communication operators, had to call back and forth on the telephone to provide updates to the local law enforcement, to the state troopers, EMS, and all that was involved. This reaffirmed our commitment to make this better, somehow and some way. And I'm proud to say that we've been able to improve our position for providing these new tools now to make this happen. We are now able to patch the Pennsylvania State Police troopers and our local law enforcement together on one radio channel for highly critical incidents that put the public and the law enforcement at risk. We will now have situational awareness of incidents that the state police responds to, being able to provide a heads up to our local departments for pursuits, searches, and other things that would require that. Something that we didn't have because of the two disparate radio systems. And not only we are able to do this for Jefferson County, we were able to leverage grant funding from the Homeland Security Grant Program to do this for all the counties in the Northwest Central region to bridge that gap. This includes Clarion, Clearfield, Cameron, and Elk counties. And while the law enforcement partners are here today, has been a big part of this. We're going to meet downstairs after this meeting to just kind of go over the system with them. But I want to have a special thank you to a few individuals and organizations. Of course, the leadership at the Northwest Central counties to recognize the grant funds to be able to do this project. I want to recognize the Bureau of Communication and Information Services at the State Police, along with the Troop C leadership and the State Police's Department leadership under Colonel Parrish, who was very instrumental to make this happen. Of course, our local law enforcement, who is out and about, the boots on the ground and have to deal with things and sometimes not have backup. You know, one of the things that the state police, local police, and every first responders are facing is a shortage of manpower. So we all have to work together to make sure everybody comes home at night safe and sound. Want to recognize Ed Matz from North Central, who used his funding through a grant that he was able to receive to build the infrastructure links between the counties and the state police's radio towers. Alan Hawker from Center Communications, who installed all the necessary components to make this all work at each of the counties. Our own Chris Clark, who spent countless hours building the radio screens at the 911 center, so it's easy for the dispatchers to understand and to make the necessary connections on the fly. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the Board of Commissioners, who helped front the funds up front until the grant funds come in to reimburse this project at 100%. And to the dispatch staff at the counties and PSP, who embrace this enhancement for the safety of the public and our law enforcement officers. Most of this build out was done in my absence. And everybody did a great job, but I cannot express my appreciation to our teams enough for their hard work in making this come to fruition. So thank you all very much, everybody involved with this project. So. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. Want to also acknowledge you, Tracy. You acknowledge every other entity and the key people involved. But let's not forget that Tracy's role in pulling all of this together and your understanding of the critical nature of communication, and all of you people in uniform who serve us on a regular basis. You know how frustrating it is when you are trying to communicate and communication doesn't happen, and especially when minutes and lives are at stake. So that's a critical link in the chain, and it needs constant attention. So, all you law enforcement professionals, thank you for what you're doing, and thank you to the emergency services and the 911 dispatchers, every component of that chain. Anyone have any other comments on that presentation? Anything from you? Thank you very much. So we'll move on to the next, to just general public comment. Mr. Vance.
I just wanted to share, my name's Elise, I'm the Director of Community Development here. Tonight is our first public hearing regarding Community Development Block Grant, CDBG funds, the county's entitlement. It's tonight at 5 downstairs in the large conference room. That's where we talk about proposed projects this year. Any municipality or entity interested is welcome to come to that to talk about getting some of those funds for their project, talk about prior use of funds. We give a presentation on what all is eligible, and then public comments, complaints, grievances are taken until May 2nd.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anything from the auditors?
Well, yes, Mr. North, since you asked, my name is Edward McGinnis. The elected auditors have been engaged in an evaluation of county government financial systems and the processes, the strengths, and the vulnerabilities therein to assess our handling and accountability of taxpayer funds. Now, over the past 2 months, we've met with many department managers and elected officials, and the exchange of information has been excellent. We continue to identify areas that need attention because in many instances, there exist archaic practices throughout the county that need to be brought into the 21st century. We have encountered only one notable exception, and that's the treasurer's office. We've made repeated attempts to coordinate an opportunity to review their operations, and the treasurer refuses to meet. He's also refused to permit his deputy treasurer to meet with us. Now, in light of recent concerns that have been expressed by our external auditors, Zelkowski and Axelrod, during our audit last year, we're very interested in understanding as well as assisting the treasurer's office to meet their obligations of efficient and timely and transparent operations. We do thank the departments that we've met with so far, and we reiterate our desire to meet with the treasurer, but he has stated it is just not convenient for him to do so until mid to late May, and he has stated that his deputy will not be participating in any meetings with us either. So that's the update. We're progressing nicely, but the key function is missing.
We'll keep trying and continue in the other areas.
We'll keep trying.
Thank you. Could we get an update on our October issue concerning the $67,000 that had not been remitted? This is a topic that had been the last couple of meetings brought up over remittance issue from last October federal withholding.
Yes, we did receive our official notice from the IRS regarding that. We were assessed a failure to pay penalty as well as some interest, and the total amount due is $1,099.99.
Any chance to get that to gain relief?
No, I did call and leave him and ask, called into the IRS, and they said that the penalty would be sustained and we should be receiving another letter to that effect soon.
Thank you. Thanks for the update.
Sure.
Any other public comments? Patty? Anything? Justin?
That's fine.
What happened?
Shrunk, then. Lost a lot of weight. My question is, the new radio system, and is that already in service, already being used, or is that not yet?
It is in service. Unofficially, it's been used a couple times so far. The state police did training with their PCOs while we did training with our folks. And we're just gonna meet, like I said, after this meeting with all of the law enforcement that's here, kind of go over it with them so they have an understanding of how it's gonna work and the benefits to it, so.
So what have we done to get this onto regular, everybody's different systems of radios and all that? We have to buy new radios, hook that up, like, Punxsutawney has to have Indiana County radios to communicate with Indiana County,
Yeah, so
or else we can't.
So I can't speak on the Indiana County side, but what I can say on this end here is, and some of the officers in here, please, speak up with this. You know, the officers out on the street, they have a portable radio and they have a radio in their car. And if they're in pursuit of somebody, or they're on a foot chase and you tell them to switch to a certain zone or a certain frequency, that's kind of impossible because they have to focus on the person that they're chasing. They have to watch their surroundings for their safety, and communications can get lost. So they stay on the same channel that they're operating on, requesting the patch. We get the patch initiated through PSP, and then the two entities can speak back and forth to each other. So it's a very, very simple process, I would say, for the 911 centers end of it, and very important for the law enforcement officer safety. Because I've heard from a lot of police officers over the years, and in my time as a civilian with the state police, I've heard from a lot of troopers that says, man, these radios are, you know, too much is in these radios. So it's something that gives them the ability that they can work together, partnership together with for the future. So, gentlemen, anything that you want to add to that?
I don't think so. We transitioned to a new P25 portable radio system, and we're on a VHF system now. We used to have an 800 megahertz closed system. All of our radio transmissions are encrypted, so they're not in scanner land, basically. So an issue that we ran into transitioning to the new systems is we did not have a VHF and an 800 radio in the car. So we used to be able to monitor local traffic with our VHF radio while we could communicate with each other on the 800. With only one radio system, we couldn't do that anymore. So basically what we were forced to do was listen to our own radio traffic in the car radio and turn our portable radios on and switch the channel just to monitor local officer traffic, which the moment we got out of a car, if you were in a foot chase, like you can see, I'd have to twist this. I can't see what I'm twisting to, or I'd never be able to do it on the run. So it's dangerous. This system now allows us that when we're in a patch, that basically at all times, county can hear our dispatchers and can hear us, and they can communicate back and forth. When the patch goes up, then we can actually communicate directly with other law enforcement, which is huge because if we have some sort of serious event, you know, say an active shooter situation, obviously those are becoming more and more common. Prior to that, we wouldn't be able to communicate with other law enforcement agencies, which increased the chances of blue on blue incidents when we were approaching scenes. Now we can communicate direct mobile to mobile, car to car with these individuals, which obviously increases safety for everyone involved and increases our response. If that makes any sense.
Does it work on the, obviously it works on all your towers that you have, what, 6 towers or whatever?
Yes, it's going to work through our simulcast system, so it's going to hit all the towers at one shot.
I have any other questions? That's it.
Jen, anything from you? Okay. Any other comments, issues from the floor? Is there anything we need to announce, Karen? All right. With that, before we adjourn and mayhem ensues, if there are any organizations or entities that would like to get a photograph, let's do that as soon as we adjourn. Let's do it in the order of the proclamations. We'll do the hospitals. We'll do mental health awareness, and you want one with the law enforcement professionals do. So let's do it in that order. And the reason I'm saying that, ladies and gentlemen, is we're already late for a jail board meeting. Can we put that back 10 minutes? So let's plan on holding that in 10 minutes. And I apologize, we're gonna need the room then. So we can get our next meeting. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn? Properly moved and second, any discussion, all in favor? Motion carries, we're adjourned. Okay, so hospitals.
I have an hour to respond.